Alright everybody, so today we're going to be making, it's kind of what I throw together, a seafood stew. So yes, I went to the farmer's market, to the fish market. I just made a video on the acabeche de pescado. It's a fried fish marinated in oil, vinegar, peppers, onions, and all that good stuff. So we got the fish, and then I saw the clams. The clams were on sale, so we got some a dozen of clams. We got a bag of mussels. We got a dozen of the medium shrimp, and then this is just some fish that I had in the freezer. They come individually packaged, so I took out 3 pieces of tilapia. I would have gotten scallops, but I totally didn't even think about it until I left the farmer's market, that I said, you know what, with all that seafood, we'll just do a stew. So anyways, if you want to add scallops, you can. This recipe, you can actually just you know, add whatever seafood you like. You don't have to necessarily, you know, put what I'm putting in. So the base of the whole stew is going to be the seafood, so put in it, you know, whatever you like. So that's the seafood. This is the scallions. This a bunch. I think a bunch comes like 4 scallions, 3 or 4 scallions, so that's a bunch of the scallions. This is a whole head of garlic. Focus. Okay, and a can of crushed tomatoes, so that's 28-ounce can. And we're also going to use this packet. They sell it in BJ's, so I just want to show you. It's basically just to throw in the boiling water when you cook, like, you know, crabs or the shrimp, or when you do the whole, you know, seafood thing. And Paul and PJ, when crabbing season is in, they go crabbing a lot, so I got a few of these in Walmart, and they're not that expensive. It's 1 bag and it's 99 cents, so that's not bad. Okay, and this is what it looks like. So it's just kind of bunch of different, you know, herbs, spices and stuff, and it smells really good. So we're gonna dump this in the water, and 3 cups of water, and we're gonna let it boil for about probably 20 minutes or so, depending. And then we're also going to add in the water, before we add any of this, we're also going to add the shrimp shells. Okay, so I peeled my shrimp, and I always save the shells, and if I don't use the shells right away, what I do is I freeze it, because sometimes I just want some kind of stew or soup or whatever it is that I'm making to have, you know, a shrimp or seafood taste. So then I take out the shells. So but I'm gonna use these shells now to boil in the water with the bag. And the other day I had made shrimp empanadas. So you see, these are the shells of the shrimp. So this is frozen. So as you see, I don't throw it out. I freeze it, and then I can always use, you know, use it when I need it. Even if I'm gonna make like a seafood rice, a paella, I can use, you know, the skins of the shrimp to, you know, to add that little kick to the water. So, oh, and we're also going to be needing some wine. This is optional. I always like to cook with it, especially seafood. I think it gives it a good flavor. Paul went to the liquor store to get some wine for dinner, so he just happened to pick that one up. So normally he gets whatever wine. It's inexpensive and it's on sale, that's good for cooking, so he came home with that one. And yeah, so that's about it. Let's get this started. Alright guys, so this is you want to use a pan where you can spread out the seafood. I'm gonna kick your butt. Where I can spread out the seafood and it's not just piled up in a pot. You don't want that. You want it, you know, to be able to lay kind of even, you know, evenly. All right, so we're gonna add our shrimp shells, and we're going to add the bag of spices. Let's just give it a stir. And we're gonna allow all this to cook together. I'm gonna add another cup of water because you want this bag to be covered, so, excuse me. All right, I'm gonna add one more. Okay, so like I said, you just want this bag covered, and don't worry, you know, don't put like a lot of water, but don't worry if you know, you think it's a lot of water, it really isn't. Once it, you know, it starts to boil, you know, some of it will evaporate. So now we're just going to allow this to come to a boil, and for it to cook, like I said, about 15-20 minutes. All right guys, so it's been about 20 minutes. I would leave it longer, but it's 6:17 and everyone's hungry, so I'm going to start removing everything from the pot. I did taste it, and I just want to give you a heads up. It's gonna have a kick to it, but do not be alarmed, because once we add our crushed tomatoes and our wine and everything, you know, else that we're gonna add, it won't, you know, be an overwhelming kick. Okay, this bag, I'm actually going to freeze it. The shells I'm going to throw out because I already used them, but the bag I will refreeze, and so I can use it again another time, because this is really meant for a lot more water, so there's a lot more flavor in there that I can actually utilize. So I'm all about saving, guys, all about saving. When you have a big family, every little bit counts. So you see the color of the water? It's like a brown gravy. So now I'm going to add, to that I'm going to add my garlic. And I'm going to add the crushed tomatoes to this as well. And now allow this to come to a boil, so about 10 minutes, because we want it to come to a boil so we can start adding our seafood in. Okay, so now that it's come to a boil, we're going to start adding our seafood in to the broth. And okay, you guys know that I got a new camera, so the one half with the seasonings, like the thyme, I'm sorry, the oregano and the garlic powder, and also the chicken broth, did not, the camera wasn't recording, so I need to take time to learn the camera. Alright, so we're going to add these first. We don't want to add the shrimp because we don't want it to cook too much, because we don't want the shrimp to be just like rubbery and not good. So we're just going to allow this to cook for about 20 minutes or until you start to see that all the clams and the mussels are opening up, and then we'll add the broth. Now we're going to allow this to come back to a boil. Okay, so now that you see it has come to a boil, now that it's come to a boil, we're going to be adding our broth. You can use chicken broth, vegetable broth, pork broth, whatever broth you want to add. And I keep losing my spoon. Oh, here it goes. Okay. And we're just going to give it a good stir. And then we're going to allow this to come to a boil so that we can add in our tilapia. And as you go along, just make sure that you're tasting it. I haven't added salt. I've just added the garlic, the oregano, the Sazon, and that's about it. And then just go tasting if you feel it needs salt. You know you can add it. I'll see towards the end if it needs salt. But for right now, it's good. All right, guys. So it's come to a boil. So now I'm just gonna slide in the tilapia. I'm just gonna slide it in because I want the tilapia to break anyway, so. And you add the fish once the clams open up. I mean, it's not a whole process, so you can add it, however you want. Well, when you put the clams in, it doesn't really matter. We just want it to break up into the sauce. Okay, so allow that to come to a boil, and then the last step was going to be to add the shrimp. The last step is to add the shrimp, the camarones. Okay guys, so we're gonna add 1 more cup of wine, and that's the last of it. So it was a total of 2 cups of wine. And we're gonna add our shrimp. And we're going to add our scallions to this. And give it a good stir. I'm going to try to stir it without everything falling. On the stove. Julia, take your shoes off. Okay. And you see the fish is breaking up, the tilapia. That's what I wanted. Okay. My God, this smells so good. And you know what? Today, you see the tilapia? That's what we want. We want it to break down like that into the sauce. The sauce, the broth, whatever you want to call it. It's funny because yesterday was, it felt like 90 degrees because it was humid. Yesterday was Saturday. And then today, it's like chilly. It felt, I was cleaning all day and it felt like, and I was actually cleaning the front porch, and Paul actually trimmed the bushes in the front of the house. And it felt like October. Like, I don't know, I love October weather. I love fall and I love the winter. I love snow. I love snowstorms. So anyways, it felt like fall weather out there. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 58 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 54 degrees.
And we're in July, and that's the not July, Dios mío. We're in June, and that's the temperature, so go figure, right? So today's the perfect day for it. To make a nice seafood stew or any kind of stew. Right, Gigi?
Yeah.
Gigi's waiting for this. What's your favorite part of the stew, Gigi?
Probably the clams and the oyster.
The clams and the oyster? You like shrimp too, though?
Yeah, and the shrimp.
Yeah. She's been waiting for this, honey.
I was playing outside.
Yeah, she was playing outside. She was playing soccer. She has her soccer nets set up in the yard.
Mom?
What?
So, yeah, I'm gonna let me ride the car by myself because now my dick reach.
You can ride the quad by yourself. You're too little, unless it's yours, but the big one you can't.
And we lost the oil cap, so now no one can ride it.
So which quad? All right.
That's
Excuse me. He's gonna order one. So we're gonna allow this to come to a boil, and then we'll be right back. And it's smelling good, guys. Right, Gigi? How it smells? Amazing. Did you smell it outside? Kinda. All right, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So it's done. I just tasted some, and I just had a shrimp, and it's delicious. I just said to myself, why didn't I get some Italian bread yesterday when I went out, grocery shopping? Because I would have just made some fresh pan con ajo, some fresh, Italian bread with olive oil and some fresh garlic. And I wouldn't even eat the rice. My husband is like big into rice and everything. Oh, what's the rice? So he appreciates the rice. But I would have just had the broth with some fish and the pan con ajo, the garlic bread. So that's another option. You can just make this, and you don't even need the rice, to be honest. This and some pan con ajo, you don't even need the fish. This alone is good. Like this right here is itis food. Like you will get the itis after you eat this. So be prepared, but it's delicious. And I'm about to plate it, so I'll be right back. Let me try to zoom in. Still getting used to the camera. So this is the finishing product. The rice for aguacate, which my aguacate fell off, and the seafood stew. And this is Paul's here. And that's the fish, and of course some wine. So we're gonna eat dinner on the porch today, even though it feels like it's October. So, but everything looks delicious.
Excuse me. Dad, what are you doing? Ow.
Gigi's plate. But she's been eating hers.
I eat all my shrimp first.
You ate all your shrimp first?
It's smaller.
Huh?
It's smaller.
All right, time to eat.
Kumbaya, kumbaya.